Good evening. Mac again here. Guys, I live in Lexington, Mississippi. I'm going to tell you, it has been a pleasure for me to take you each week on the road with the SPRA. You know, last week, one of the great opportunities that the SPRA afforded all of the fans and the Cowboys took us across that Georgia line over to Blairsville, Georgia, to the 9th Annual Blairsville Pro-Rodeo. Today, I have a big treat for everybody. On the phone with us today, I have Mr. Art Miller. Art is the Saddle Club president over there that helps put on the rodeo, as well as my man from Kentucky, the Bluegrass State, the big man commanding the mic all weekend, Mr. Ed Rehmus, is on the phone with us as well. Art, how are you doing today?
We're doing good. Doing
real good, yep.
How about you, Ed?
Oh, doing fantastic. It was a great weekend for rodeo. Art and the crew over there in Blairsville, treated me like a king, and I tell you, it was a great weekend for rodeo. It's not just a rodeo up there, Mac. I tell you, it's something special. Those guys have really got something going on. You can tell it means a lot to the people of Blairsville. The Union County Saddle Club, all the way down to the Union County Saxon Saddle Precision Drill Team. They've got something there that they're proud of, and they showcase it to the community well.
I'll tell you, Ed, I saw a ton of videos from over there. And Art, man, my hat is off to you guys. That facility over there looks amazing. I've never been to it, but wow, what a place to showcase the Western way of life, you know.
Well, we've been really blessed to have the facility built 9 years ago. Our county commissioner has been very supportive of the Saddle Club and the Pro Rodeo for a number of years. And just this past year, he made a lot of improvements to it, by adding the covered runout and some warm-up areas and livestock holding areas and that kind of thing. So we were real happy this year how it all worked out. This is the first year that we had the rodeo there with those improvements, and we had some we made some room for some extra bleachers because we ran out of room last year, which I guess is a good thing for rodeo. But
that's not a bad
this
thing.
year we added some bleachers, and everybody was in the dry and comfortable. We had a little rain on Friday night, which dampened our crowd a little bit, but Saturday night we packed it out, and it was comfortably packed. It wasn't, it was standing room only, but it was comfortable.
You know, you spoke about the stock there and all the pins and stuff you had for the stock. And when I think of the stock that came to there, I think of Danny Hedrick and Hedrick Rodeo Company. You know, tell me about your partnership with them from a committee man side, and then I'm going to get Ed to tell me a little bit how it is to work with the Hedrick Rodeo Company from the announcer side.
Well, we signed on with Danny Hedrick Rodeo Company 9 years ago, and we were just thrilled to do that 9 years ago and continue on with him. He comes in and very professional operation, clean operation. Things are picked up cleaner when he left than when he got there. The stock is phenomenal. Every year he comes in with really good broncs and, bulls and all the stock for that matter. But to have a good rodeo, you got to have good contestants. You got to have good stock, as you well know. So I think we hit the mark on that.
Absolutely. Ed, man, I've worked around Danny Hedrick and them some, been at rodeos where they've been, never had the opportunity to work with them. Tell me from an announcer standpoint, man, everything that they do looks like they go above and beyond for not just the fans, but for their personnel as well.
Well, from the announcer stand, Mac, they're the kind of they're the kind of producer and stock contractor you want to work for. Absolutely. They stay in contact with you. Their committee, Art and them. We talked a lot before the rodeo happened about the opening and, just getting everything nailed down before you get there, before there wasn't any surprises, all the way down to the production meeting, 3 hours before the show went on. Everybody knew their place. Everybody was where they were supposed to be. There wasn't any lag time. Those guys go from one end of the arena to the other between events like lightning. For an announcer, that's the kind of rodeo you want to go to every weekend.
And
they are true professionals. I'm telling you, they're very good at their jobs, and there's no reason why they're legendary and they're award winning, because those guys know the sport of rodeo inside and out. And the livestock they haul, man, I tell you, the horses are phenomenal. The bulls are fantastic. you can look at the times in the timed events and tell that the timed event cattle were even across the pen, and it was a rodeo contestants kind of rodeo. There's good stock, great fans. The Rob Gann rocked it all weekend long. And then once again, hats off to Mr. Art there. Everything we needed, they're right there for us. So but Hedrick Rodeo Company, they are the kind of people you want to work for. They're truly going to be legends in the sport.
Hedrick Rodeo Company and the SPRA, that's what I like to call a winning combination. And, we couldn't do it. You mentioned the fans. The fans in Blairsville looked to be electric all weekend.
Well, we started out with our grand opening and the opening ceremony, I should say, and the grand entry, dedicating it to the military, law enforcement, first responders. And so we had a military flag flown by our drill team member, one at a time, to the military theme song for that specific branch of the military. And then the last flag was the first responder flag. And it just made the evening really successful. The beginning of it started out with some electricity. People, what we're going through right now in the country, and that is pretty tough for a lot of people, and people were just into it. They were cheering, they were standing, they were proud, and we just had a great opening. And Ed, hats off to Ed for helping me put all that together and making it work, because we had never done it that way before. We had a big 12-foot by 18-foot flag out in the middle, and we had representatives from law enforcement and all the ones that I just mentioned wave that big flag out there in the middle of the arena on the floor there. So not the flag wasn't on the floor, of course, but they were waving it out there, and it just made the night. It just started the night out and great, and it made it.
Well, I've known Ed for a good many years
from the introduction.
Now.
Go ahead, Mike.
I've known Ed for a good many years now, and I tell you what, you're in good hands with Ed Rehmus behind the mic at your rodeo. We went through that great opening. The sponsors there just seemed to be the outpour of support there at that rodeo seemed to be second to none. But then you started cracking latches, and you got right there into the nuts and bolts of the rodeo, into the most physically demanding event of rodeo, the bareback. Ed, how'd that shake out, bud?
I'm telling you, Danny and the crew at Hedrick Pro Rodeo brought some broncs. I mean, Friday night, it was some airtime. Those guys, the horses, just to be honest with you, we had, I think, one qualified ride Friday night. We bucked some cowboys off. We bucked some good cowboys off, but, the horses showed out Saturday night. Matt Smith, 84 points. That sucker spurred one from one end to the other, and it was a spur ride. I'm telling you, bareback bronc riding set the tone for the performance.
Man, that Matt
There's no doubt that Danny has good horses.
That Matt Smith, 84 points there in Blairsville. What you don't know, the second verse of that story is he went 73 points across the way over in Moulton, Alabama, at the other SPRA rodeo to cinch up the second place win over there as well. Great bronc stomper right there, Matt Smith.
Yeah, he had a good weekend.
I'm telling you. And then I guess y'all kind of rolled on down into the tie-down calf roping, didn't you?
We did, and, there's 2 seconds split, first place and second place. So, when the calf rope was pretty tight, I think, Art, we had, about 20 calf ropers. We had a little slack on Saturday night, the calf roping. There was a lot of cowboys there, all of them looking for a next trip to the SPRA finals down there in the wonderful state of Mississippi. But, you said it best a couple of weeks ago about it being a sprint to the end, and these guys are sprinting, and they're in shape, and they're ready to, with a show out in the rodeo arena. 9-1, 9-2, 9-8. I'm telling you, these guys are on fire this weekend.
I'm telling you, they got some fast calves there. When a 9-2 takes a second place win, and the man behind the rope, and I'm going to say that when Justin Thigpen, 19-time world champion, cocks a rope in his hand, It's not just a rope, son, it's a weapon. And he put it on that calf there for the second place check at 9.2. But Brandon Leo comes in with a 9.1. cinches up the win there in the tie down. It looked like it was a great time. Lots of fast times, lots of high scores all weekend.
Yes, sir. And, in your number 3 man, Tim Parr, he has won money at every major rodeo in the United States of America and Canada.
Dude.
So, who would guess Blairsville, Georgia would have a showdown in the calf roping? I was just blessed to be there part of it.
Whenever you see the man from Recyca, Georgia, ride in the parking spot, and he's riding a horse with that Lightning P brand on it, you know that's Tim Farr, and you know great things are about to happen. He was in the money as well, like you said. So, man, we got those guys out of the arena. We brought the pretty cowgirls in the arena for the cowgirl breakaway roping, which is a lot like, I like to say it sometimes, it's like the exact same except completely different than the tie-down calf roping.
Yep.
But tell us how that shook out
sir.
for you.
Well, once again, it got really competitive. It's a little soft Friday night, but Saturday night the cowgirls got the game going, and 2-2. Two cowgirls were 2.2.
Right.
2.2 is a blink of an eye, basically. So if you're ever sitting at home and you're thinking, well, how fast is 2.2? I don't know. Stand up off the couch. That's about 2.2. So from nodding your head to swinging your rope to roping the calf, stopping, and then 20 feet of rope, getting tight and breaking free from a saddle horn, a lot of things happen. And two of the great cowgirls, Chelsea Abernathy and Rachel Kittle, 2.2. It's just amazing how fast they were. And it's really tight when you look at the standings, and 2.6 gets the last place.
Yeah,
so,
I'm telling you, my hat is off to Rachel Kittle for hanging in there with that 2.2. Chelsea Abernathy, dude, that girl is a wolf. Man, just a few weeks ago, she made her way out to the fabulous Lazy E Arena to stampede with the E, and worked for about 2 seconds there, and had one of those big oversized checks made out to her for $12,500 out in Guthrie, Oklahoma.
Kidding.
Man, she comes in there. I see that Cammie Kinnemer, dude, she was a 2.5 to earn the second place check there. And those Kinnemer sisters, and her sister Kaylee was a 2.3 to win Moulton, Alabama. Man, all those Kinnemer sisters, they bad. Their mama bad. Their daddy, real bad. And y'all, they showed up and showed out.
You darn right.
In
Yes, sir.
Blairsville.
Yep. It was it was a who's who of the breakaway roping, and the cowgirls sure enough put on a clinic Saturday night.
Then we could have let you look in the mirror on this next one. We brought the big men in the arena for the big man's event, steer wrestling.
Oh, I'm telling you. You couldn't ask for better steer wrestling you would have thought you were at the SPRA finals. From the beginning to end, I'm telling you, the Cowboys are at it. A couple older Cowboys, they bulldog back in the days when I was still running steers. Troy Orr, Adam Strahan out of the great state of Illinois.
That was a long time
they
ago.
backed in there and slam dunked some. I want to call them elder statesmen in the sport because they're 40 plus and they're competitive. When you're 3'7" and you beat all the young guns like Palmer, White, and all the good Cowboys coming out of Alabama, you stepped up there and done something. And kind of a special story about Adam Strahan is he's cracked his son out. Now, he's a high school cowboy just getting out in the bulldogging business. And me and him were talking before the rodeo. He says he's got the bug, Ed. I said, well, what do you mean? He goes, well, he likes winning. He says, well, you like the bulldog, he likes to win. So he says, we're out here doing it. I said, I cracked back out and we're doing it again. So his son, I think he's hitting top 10 in the Central region, was winning South Carolina, the rodeo over in South Carolina when they left. They've been traveling all weekend, and, they made a stop here, and they got a paycheck. So the bulldogging was where you want to be. It stood out just like all the other events.
Man, you talked about Palmer White, too. West Point, Mississippi Cowboy right there. Dude, it was a slam fest for him with 4.1 seconds on that second-place win. And I love to talk about family because that's what we're all about, the family lifestyle of rodeo in the SPRA. His brother Taylor actually won Moulton, Alabama with a longer time than his brother had to win second at your rodeo. 6.1 seconds over in Moulton for Taylor White. His brother Palmer cinches up the second place check there with a 4.1. And then Troy Orr, the old hand, boy, the veteran, he reels in the win with a 3.7 second run there in the big man's event at your 9th annual Blairsville, Georgia Pro-Rodeo.
Yep.
Dude,
it was something to see, and the crowd loved it. I mean, it's great to see men the size of linebackers sliding off the running horse and grabbing wild steers by the horns, digging the heels of their Durango boots in the ground, and slinging them around for a paycheck. And it was electric. It was electric.
I was laughing because you said it's fun to see a big man that size, a linebacker, come off the back of a horse and dig the heels of those cowboy shop Durango boots. I was picturing you kind of falling off a horse, kind of. I don't know. It tickled me.
It was, yeah. If I did it anymore, it'd be more like falling off.
Well, we both.
But a big thanks goes out to our friends at Durango Boots. They gave away a pair of boots both nights to some lucky fan that we drew out of the crowd, and like I said, Art Miller and those guys really went out of their way to find great sponsors. And hats off to Durango Boots. Thank you so much for your support.
And you can get your Durango boots right over there in Rookville, Georgia at the Cowboy Shop. This is Sherry Wilkins, and she's also a major sponsor of On the Road with the SPRA. We say thank you to her. On to the dynamic duos of rodeo, the team roping.
Well, if you look at the leaderboard there, if you pull it up on your computer, folks, it was the who's who of roping. The number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 man on the head and heeling side were there. There were some guys just hanging around out in the top 10 that were there. When you get to that level, anybody has a shot to win it in the team roping. It's just one quick shot, one good heel loop away from drawing a big check or walking home with empty pockets. And I tell you, Jacob Dagenhart, Morgan Jones, I've watched Morgan Jones rope a long time. This cat is wicked on the heeling side. Jacob Dagenhart, what can you say? But, they come up with a win this weekend with a 4.8. Quentin Parchman, Dalton Toddy, your reigning world champion right there, 4.9. Garrett Smith, all those guys, elite in the team roping business.
Yeah, I'll tell you, a lot of those names that you just mentioned over the years at different jackpots and ropings here and there, I've probably helped pay a lot of their light bills and put a lot of groceries on in their refrigerator.
Are you saying you're added money?
I'm definitely added money. That's why I swapped in and started talking about it, buddy. Those guys are definitely snarling wolves, and they will show up, show out, and show enough take your money. And what a great job there in the team roping. Congratulations to all you guys. On to the pretty cowgirls and lightning fast American quarter horses. Boy, it got 3 ways in that event. It got there quick, fast, and in a hurry. Tell us about it.
Well, I tell you, you keep telling. I may be sounding like I'm redundant because I keep saying it was electric. I mean, if you're looking at the standings from the 14 flat to the 14-2-7 that took the last place, I mean, all night long, 14, 14-1, 14-2, both nights. These cowgirls have been waiting all summer to get their chance to shine. Their horses look good. They're riding well. The barrel racing is as tough as I've ever seen it at any rodeo ever.
That was a barrel race. We had a barrel race this past weekend for sure. There was some
absolutely
great lines there.
Definitely did. As a matter of fact, I think Ms. Alyssa McFarland was only 1 hole out, and dude, she's sitting number 4 in the SPRA World Standings right now.
Yeah.
And
you have some kind of a tie to that cowgirl, don't you?
Yeah, she's the granddaughter, and we're real proud of her, and we're just plugging along one rodeo at a time, trying to get to the end. That's all, just like everybody else is doing, but we appreciate the support.
I see where B.B. Hastings, that young cowgirl there, boy, she's been laying winning runs down since she was like 8 years old or something crazy. Probably one of the youngest cowgirls on the circuit. She's sitting number 11 in the SPRA World Standings, laid down that 14
Her run
flat.
was phenomenal. It looked like the horse was running in slow motion. That horse, covers ground. It looked like it was easy for him. A lot of horses can be fast, and it looked like he gave it all he had the whole time. This horse, he's in control. He turned the barrels as good as you could turn one, and it just looked like it was effortless for him to cover the ground. So B.B. Hastings, big tip to my resistol to you, cowgirl. You beat a bunch of great cowgirls. Julie Thomas, number one cowgirl in the standings. Hey, she's tough.
Talk about tough. Ranger, Georgia, the horse she's on, been going up and down the road, been getting to rodeo finals for a lot of years. That horse is named Amos. Dude, 14.05-7 for the second place win. You talked about horses that really look like they put forth a lot of effort and give it a lot of heart. There ain't no more heart in a horse going up and down the road than it is in Amos, I'm going to tell you. And then I'll tell you what was impressive to me. Sliding down the list to the 14.186 run that split the fourth place win between Utah, Alabama's own Angela Hudson. Now, she's a former SPRA world champion. She's currently sitting number one in the SPRA world standings. She rides a buckskin horse she calls Amazing, and she consistently lays down amazing runs week after week. And then the cowgirl from Madisonville, Tennessee, Miss Emily Hedrick, comes in there and answers her back with an identical 14.18-6. Super talented trick rider, Miss Emily Hedrick, and coming in there and getting on the barrel pattern and showing them she can turn some tubs, too. Congratulations to you girls for battling that out and pulling that check.
I'd like to send out a kudo to Emily also. She's had a tough season so far, but she is there every rodeo doing her best to get a fast time, and she certainly did at our rodeo, and we're real proud of her.
We got a saying that says, you show some grit and you never quit, and Emily exemplifies that saying.
The other thing I want to throw out there real quick is kudos to the ground crew that we have. Gerald Patterson heads up our ground crew, and we pride ourselves in good ground at our arena, and we had no slips, no falls. People were pretty satisfied with the ground, and we had some really fast times, as you well know, and went over.
Well, congratulations to all you girls in the barrel racing. And then there was the one that everybody's been waiting on. Everybody sticks around for it. The Cowboys against Beast, the Big Bad Bucking Bovines, the bull riding. It looks like the bulls got pretty ranked because I only see one qualified point that took home all the money. Tell us about it.
Well, I tell you, from Friday night to Saturday night, the bulls were ready to do battle. We had some really good Cowboys there. The summer off has really got these bulls feeling good. So really, it's hard to explain that to somebody that was not a rodeo person, but they're fat, they feel good, they're in shape, and what can I say? But they're showing out. Friday night, it was electric. The bulls come out, they worked phenomenal. They did what they do. They bucked the Cowboys off. Saturday night, Mr. Morris hung him one and got him a great big check. So that ought to put him right up in the standings, make himself a trip to the SPRA finals in 2021.
Luke Casey Morris, 62 championship points to win the bull riding. Guys, that's how all the action shook out there at your 9th annual Blairsville Pro-Rodeo. Now, Art and Ed, this week, I want to invite everybody to follow me, the Frontier Classic Rodeo Company, along with multiple-time SPRA Funny Man of the Year, Mr. Trent McFarland, one of the premier specialty acts going up and down the road right now, Mr. Brian Patton, the Misfit Cowboy. I have the opportunity to work with them 2 electric nights, the hottest ticket in town in Odenville, Alabama, October the 2nd and 3rd. The gates open at 5:30. The show starts at 7. It's where you want to be. I know I'll get to see Art over there because I know Alyssa's up. I've already seen my draw. Can't wait to see you guys. Art, Ed, do y'all have anything else that you'd like to say, maybe about the SPRA or what the SPRA has done for you guys?
Well, we
first, Art.
Go ahead. We, on a personal note, we love the SPRA and we love the SPFR also. We like going down to Mississippi. We like crawfish and catfish and that kind of thing. But we also like the finals. It's a really good finals. We have a good time, and it's very competitive, but it's very professional, and we have a great time. The only other thing I want to add before we sign off here for the night is I want to put a thanks out to our sponsors. We had over 60 sponsors at different levels sponsoring our rodeo this year. I want to thank Durango Boots for sponsoring or help us give away boots this year for the first time. We're hoping to continue that for future years. We had to move our dates from June to September, so we'll be back in June, 18th and 19th, Blairsville, Georgia. Please come and see us. I want to thank the competitors, too, for coming out and seeing our place, and hopefully they'll all be back, too, next June.
Absolutely. Guys, talking about sponsors, before we sign off, too, I mentioned the Cowboy Shop and Miss Sherry Wilkins, but, this On the Road with the SBRA, it couldn't be put on without the help from people like Alpha Insurance, www.alphainsurance.com. When you want a new trailer or even a pre-owned trailer, before you look anywhere else, do us a favor and give the Dixie Horse and Mule Company a chance there. You're looking for a new good-looking Ram pickup truck, universally, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram over there in Anniston, Alabama. You heard me talk about Miss Angela Hudson, the #1 cowgirl in the world standings right now. Her company is also a huge sponsor of On the Road with the SBRA. That's Magnolia Barrel Horses. You want to go from competing to winning? www.magnoliabarrelhorses.com. And then there's the Green family over at Roanoke Stockyards in Roanoke, Alabama. They have that cattle auction every Wednesday at 11 o'clock. Go over there and check them out. Tell them you heard about them on the road with the SBRA. Last and certainly not least, Pickett's Feed and Seed right there in Anniston and Oxford, Alabama. That's not far from where I'm going to be this weekend in Odenville, Alabama. You need something, guys. You need feed, you need seed, you're planting your gardens, you're getting ready for the deer camp. Go check them out over there in Anniston, Alabama, and let them know that you heard about them on the road with the SBRA. Thank you so much for joining us. Ed, thank you for joining us. Art, thank you for talking with us. And we'll see you this weekend, Art, and we'll see all of you next week on the road with the SBRA. Y'all come see us. All right, that's it.